Okay, so AP Stats 2000, question number 3. Letter A. So letter A, they're asking you to compare the flexibility ratings of middle-aged men and young adult men. Okay, so what I would recommend you to do is create 2 histograms comparing both. So you have to color code them or whatever you want to do, as long as you know. So you can put M here, Y here, or color it red, color this blue. It's up to you, but you have to do that so whoever's going to grade it knows which one's which. So what you're going to do is, so the frequency, since they're 500, so this is going to be your frequency, and you just number it. So 0 in the base, 10, 20, until 100. And then here, you're going to make it 1 to 10. 1 to 10. Why? Because this is the flexibility rating. And remember, 1 being least flexible and 10 being the maximum. So what you're going to do is, so let's say number 1, this is going to be 17 for middle age, since there's 17 middle-aged men, and 7 for this. 7, what was it for this, see? So you can compare them easily, and then so on. So you build that, and then build that, whatever, so on till the 10th. So looking at that, you can compare them since they're beside each other. Remember, always put this. Always. All the time. Don't forget it. You could use a box plot. If you know what a box plot is. This is a box plot. This. It's easy to compare to. Because like it could be this. And then this will be your flexibility rating. And yeah, but I'd recommend using this. This is the easiest way to compare it. A histogram is for this. Easiest way. Okay, so let's go to B. If you got that, okay. So histogram. It's question number 3, AP Stats 2000. If you're in the wrong video, stop what you're doing. So that histogram. Remember, use this always. You gotta know which one's which, or you're gonna get wrong. Okay, so for B, what's that? So B, based on an examination of your graphical display, write a few sentences comparing the flexibility of middle-aged men with the flexibility of young adult men. So what I would recommend you to do is basically it's in the question. It's all in the question. So for B, here's the paper. Okay, here we go. So B. For B, the distribution for the flexibility rating for middle-aged men. So middle-aged men, the flexibility rating is, if you look at it closely, so you can construct 3 histograms. So the one comparing it, the one for middle-aged men, the one for young adult men. So it's gonna be 3 histograms. So young adult men. So one for this, one for that, and one huge histogram with both of them together for the comparing part. So this also same thing. So if you look at it closely, the middle-aged men, it's symmetric. Symmetric. That's the shape of the distribution. Symmetric, if you don't know what it is, it's this. So when you put a line in the middle, it should look exactly the same. I mean, I drew. I think this is a bad drawing, so you shouldn't look at this, but that's symmetric. Cut it in half, they're equal to each other. See? This looks like this. It's like a mirror image. The center, it's centered around, I'd say 5.5. So for middle-aged men, center is 5.5. It's centered around that. I say about 5.5. You can see for yourself. For young adult men, it's skewed to the left. Now, this is kind of tricky, the skewed part, because there's this and there's this. Most people are going to think this is skewed to the left. Most people are going to think it's this one. But just because it goes there, but no, skewed means the tail goes there. So this, just think oppositely. So whatever you're thinking, just think the opposite. Because most of the time you're going to think it's this. Think the opposite and just think of this one. Okay? So center, I'd say it's center about 6.5. So I'd say 6.5 for this, 6.5. Higher than the middle-aged men. 6.5 higher than the middle-aged men. There is variability in both, not in one, in both. But in general, there are more young men with flexibility ratings at the high end. So in general, God, it's bad. Sorry. In general, there were more young men in general, there were more young men at the high end, of, there are more young men with flexibility ratings. Don't forget that. With flexibility ratings. So in general, there were more young men with flexibility ratings at the high end. I'm sorry. Where was I? Oh yeah, in general, there are more young men with flexibility ratings at the high end of the scale. So if you look at the scale, there's more young men and fewer at the low end of the scale for middle-aged men. So there's more young guys in the 8, 9, you can like the 8, 9, 10s. There's more young guys in that part than there is in the 1, 2, 3s. So that tells you young guys are more flexible. Well, obviously since they're young. But yeah, so that's it. Just a little addition to it. So scoring guidelines from the College Board. So it's essentially correct if the graph is drawn. So you have to draw your graphs, guys. Draw your graphs. I'd recommend drawing a graph. Using the same scale so that comparison can be made. So if you draw a histogram, you draw a histogram. You can't compare a histogram to a box plot. That's just, you're gonna get wrong. You're not gonna get points. The frequency or relative frequency can be used. Missing labels. See, missing labels and legends can be recovered if the description is clear and complete. Missing scaling cannot be recovered. So, for this part, if you don't put this, you have to make sure it's clear and the grader will know which one's which. Then you can recover the points. But if you don't put this and this is not clear, then I don't know. You're probably not gonna get points. Okay, so thanks for watching. This is AP Stats 2000, question number 3. Good luck with stats. Read the book and study for your AP exam. Thanks for watching.